Action. Today we're in the next 5 chapters, starting in Exodus 21 and going all the way through 25. We got with us Mary. Mary, I gotta just not spill the beans, but I gotta just tell a story, okay? So we went to Passion, and it's like, I don't know what time it is. It's probably around 11 o'clock at night. And here, I'm freaking out because I was the only guy there. And there were, I don't know how many girls it was, but what, like 5, 6, I guess, something like that. And so we're all going to Uber back and go back to the hotel. So I pick up my phone, like, oh my gosh, where's Mary? Where's Mary? And Mary, I'm not even kidding. Mary's at the Waffle House after the Passion event. She was walking back. I was like, Mary, stay where you are. I'm coming. So the others hop in the Uber, and I'm like running. Look, I ran straight up for I don't know how long, but I like crossed the road. I jaywalked, no doubt, or whatever they call it when you like cross the street and you're not supposed to. And so I found these people, and they were in shorts. I mean, it was 18, 20 degrees outside. It was freezing. They were in, and notice I'm running. And so they're in shorts, and they're thinking that I'm running because I'm cold. So they're like, man, what you doing? And I turn back, I'm like, I'm just going up here, like, what's up? Man, it ain't that cold out. I asked them, where are you from? They told me they were from Florida.
Oh my gosh.
Not even kidding. I said, why are you not wearing more clothes? They said, I mean, I don't think this is true, but man, this is the only clothes we have. So finally, found you at the Olympic Park beside the Waffle House. And anyway, so that was the kind of the thing, like, all right, we gotta find Mary somewhere, and we're gonna find her, and it's all gonna be okay. So you are definitely kind of you have been before, a wanderer. You know, you kind of just do your own thing. Speaking of wanderer, that's kind of what we see in Exodus. They were just kind of wandering around in the wilderness. And I know that's probably what you're going to kind of maybe share some thoughts on that.
I don't know. I kind of like to relate stuff like that to myself. Like, why won't God give me the whole picture right now? And not just, you know what I mean, not just little bits. And it's because we can't see the whole picture like He can. It's just,
I mean, I get what you're saying. Sometimes He shows us like one step at a time, and He wants us to take that one step and have faith in that one step. I mean, even like I'm even just thinking about the example we were just talking about, like that crowd, that Passion. Going out of, there's no way we could have all stayed together. I mean, there were so many people. It was like a mass chaos of just people all around. And so you literally can't see the next steps that you're taking. You're like, all you can see is the next step. And so it's super easy to kind of get lost in the crowd. So going with that, that's kind of how God is. I mean, sometimes He just wants us to see the next step, not to get lost in the vastness of everything that we have to do or where we want to be. Sometimes He says, look, there's a step that I want you to take, and this is how I want you to take it. And He leads us to that next step. That's a really good word. That's a really good word. I tell you, kind of one of the things that stood out to me is that He put the ephod on. And I love the ephod because we see this all throughout Scripture, ephod. It's the thing the high priest would wear so they could hear from God. And I wish I had one of them. I would put that thing on all the time. I would not be wearing any more hoodies to preach in because, you know, I preach in like the worst stuff. But I would not wear anything. It would be ephod every day. Every Sunday, don't even ask. I'm going to wear the ephod and get away from God. Because, I say that kind of jokingly, but it would be cool if we could just go in the closet and be like, oh yeah, here we go, and then like hear directly from God.
That would be cool.
But what Scripture tells us is that we have God living in us, and all we have to do is pray, and that we can hear from God. I think that, I don't know, it sounds easy, but I think in reality, sometimes we wonder, is this God's voice? At least I do. Is this my own voice? And I was just talking to Steve Earle today, and he said, every prayer you pray is always answered. And I thought, no, it's not, Steve. It's not always answered. He said it's answered in 3 ways. It's either yes, no, or later is what he said. But, you know, maybe not now or whatever. And I thought, and he said, well, what if somebody was praying a prayer that was opposite to what another Christian was praying, and they were, whatever. I said, well, that's a fair point. So he says, God does say no to some prayers, and God says yes, or God says maybe later. And I thought, golly. So that's really what stood out to me is, the ephod. At first reading it, I was jealous of the ephod, but then I thought, we really have the Spirit of God living in us, so they would be jealous of us. Anyways, all right. Well, that's what I got from today's chapter. Mary, you're going to be with. What are we going to be in next 26 through 30? So we are getting a little bit closer. And in 2 weeks or 2 days we have a really good chapter. I'm excited for tomorrow, but the next day it's going to be. I'm super ready for chapter 33. So, anyways, all right. We'll see y'all then, and until next time, peace.